Hey guys, the Blogging Buddhist here. Welcome to my home office. Today I'm going to show you how to change up your CGM sensor if you're using the Guardian 3. As usual, there should be a like and a follow button just below the screen here. You'd be doing me a solid if you'd hit both of those and make sure your notifications are turned on so that you get that quick little blurb anytime I upload a video. Now, your sensor device works in conjunction with your insulin pump, depending on what insulin pump you're on. I am using the Medtronic 670G insulin pump. It uses the Guardian 3 sensor, which is also made by Medtronic. So I have a few things here that I need in order to install that. The first is the Guardian transmitter itself, which is just the white piece. The gray piece is the charging cradle that it sits in until I'm ready for it. The next thing is the sensor itself, which is encased in plastic there. We'll get a better look at it once I get it open. The inserter for the sensor, tennis ball sized piece of plastic just to jam a needle into your arm. Fun, right? And last but not least, you need some kind of adhesive to keep the sensor and transmitter stuck to your flesh. Now, I use these patches that are called Patchabetes. They do have their own website. You can also order them off Amazon. However, your box of sensors will come with a bunch of adhesive tapes. The problem is that they're a little bit on the smaller side, and depending on your skin type, your oils, your body chemistry and stuff, the adhesive won't always stay on securely. So these Patchabetes, they're kind of a fabric. It's almost like fabric bandages for when you cut yourself or something. So they tend to stick a lot better, and they cover the entire area as opposed to just a little bit of the area. So the first thing we're going to do here is remove the transmitter from the charging cradle. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to remove it. And then if you take a look at it, you should see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so 10 green blinks. That means it's fully charged and it's ready to go. And interestingly enough, I've never had to charge this thing for more than an hour or two. So I removed my previous sensor, well, about an hour and a half ago. Stuck it in the cradle, and now I'm taking it out to reinstall it. It's fully charged. So I don't know how much it would take to actually flatten this thing as far as power-wise goes, but I've never had to charge it for more than an hour. Now, I'll open up the sensor that goes into the arm. I guess that's one of the first points I should cover here is I put my sensor in the arm. You can put your sensor in the abdomen around the same area, so you can see here I have my infusion set. As long as you're at least 3 inches away from that infusion set with your sensor, you can stick it in the abdomen. A lot of people like to put it in the tricep, and that's actually where I'm going to be placing mine. I like it up on the tricep because I find it puts too much stuff on my abdomen, makes certain workouts and stuff a little bit difficult, and it definitely makes it difficult if I'm training in karate class and I might be taking punches or kicks to the gut. The less you've got on your stomach, the better. Plus, an infusion set's pretty easy to replace off the insulin pump, but this transmitter you actually have to send away to Medtronic to get a replacement, which is not always the easiest thing. So first things first, here's the sensor. That gray piece at the top is the needle. So what I'm going to do now, it can really only go one way. I'm going to insert this in there. Then I'm going to place it on a table. You can see these 2 plastic tabs here. I place it on the table, put my fingers on those tabs and pull up. And now it's inside. Okay, now since I use my 2 triceps, I try to rotate back and forth so that I'm avoiding injecting at the same area as much as possible. So the last one was on this side, so this time it'll go on this side. So basically what you want to do is you want to keep that tricep as not tight and as loose as possible. You want to feel around for any scar tissue. And then once you've found a location that's pretty good here, you take your inserter, press it against your flesh, and you'll notice there's 2 green buttons, one on each side. So once you find a location of where you want to put it, press down firmly and press the buttons on both sides. You kind of hear that little shot that's almost like a puff of air. You want to leave it on there for a second, then slowly pull away. Okay, now the sensor is in your tricep. Okay, so ever so slightly you want to hold down on the sensor and just pull the needle out. Okay, so this part comes out, and it's its own self-contained sharps container. So you can actually toss that right into your sharps container at home, but for the moment it's safe. The needle is retracted inside the plastic. Okay, so now we have this on the tricep, and underneath here there's a flap of adhesive. So you pull back on that. And sometimes the flap doesn't always cooperate. You don't get it all, which seems to be the case because of course I'm filming, so this would be the time where it would screw up on me. Okay, so you flatten that down. Okay, then you've got this little flap right here. That's going to go over the transmitter once you've inserted it onto the sensor. So now you take the sensor and you kind of want to line it up and press, and you're going to feel it click, and then you want to wait for a second because you should get a green light on it. And this is one of the benefits, because usually I either have my wife helping me. Oh, there's the green light. Okay, so it's flashing green, we're good to go. So now I'm going to take the adhesive off that top flap and put it over the transmitter so that holds it in place. Now usually I get my wife to help me out with this because it can be a little bit difficult seeing behind on your tricep there depending on your placement. So usually, like right now, I'm kind of lucky my camera has a reverse screen on it, so I was able to see the green light. Not a big deal. But if you don't have someone to help you out and you're not putting it on your abdomen, you can either use a mirror or, like I say, you can use your phone or your camera like I'm doing now. Next, I'm going to take my adhesive patch. Now this bad boy will stick to flesh instantly, so you want to make sure that you're keeping your fingers off the adhesive part as much as possible. And then you want to try and get maximum coverage all the way around. And you want to have it taut without having it too tight against the skin, because you don't want it putting pressure downwards on the sensor and the transmitter. So there you go. And yes, I've got a bit of a wrinkle there. Hopefully that won't be a problem. I've got tons of spare adhesives if I need them. And then all I'm going to do is pull out my pump. And it's already recognized it. I'm going to select Start New Sensor. So now it says Sensor Warm-Up Started. So now there's a status bar on it. Now the unfortunate problem is it takes 2 hours. It takes 2 hours for the sensor warm-up to finish. Once the sensor warm-up is done, I need to test my blood. It'll give me a reading. It connects via Bluetooth to my pump and to the CGM. It'll calibrate it, and then within 2 to 4 hours from that first blood test, I have to take another again. So given that at the moment it's 8:30 p.m., so it'll be 10:30 p.m. by the time I test the first time. It'll be somewhere between midnight to 2:30 in the morning by the time I have to get up and test the second time again. Now, this usually shouldn't happen this way because it is, unless your sensor fails, it'll be an even 7 days. So like the last time I set up a sensor, it was unfortunately at this time of night as well. And this time it seems to be doing the same thing again. So if you set it up at this time, then you can expect to have to set it up at this time again in 7 days. So you want to try and make it make sense. Set it up, say, at 10 in the morning or at 5 p.m. When you're home from work and you're able to deal with it over the next 4 to 6 hours without worrying about wanting to get to sleep and being woken up and stuff. But that's it. The nice thing about the Guardian 3 sensor is working with the Medtronic 670G. It actually checks and microdoses insulin every 5 minutes based on my blood sugar levels. So that results in better time in range, better overall blood sugar readings, and it helps with a much better A1C overall. And all of those things contribute to much better diabetic health. So if you're on the insulin pump and your endocrinologist is hounding you to get onto CGM and you've been on the fence, I can tell you, having been diabetic for almost 40 years now, my only regret is I didn't get onto CGM sooner. So if you're thinking about it, I absolutely recommend it, whether it's Medtronic or with another company or manufacturer, because there are quite a few out there. So do your research, watch some more videos, and by all means, keep on watching. If you haven't done so already, you can visit my main website, www.thebloggingbuddhist.com. That's where I post daily content about a variety of subjects, including martial arts, Buddhism, and type 1 diabetes. Definitely worth checking out, and I'll see you on the next one.